another beautiful cold day here in New York. Feels like only yesterday we did the IND 6th Avenue line. Actually, for me, it was just yesterday, but we're gonna go out again today, find more subways. Today we're gonna do the IRT 7th Avenue extension, which was added to the original IRT line, that first subway in New York. It's over on the west side. Should be pretty cool. If you're just finding this channel, I pick out places in New York City to go explore, and I take you with me. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. For now though, let's go catch the subway to the subway. Let's go. Off the subway, right here next to Macy's, we're at Herald Square, walking a block over to Penn Station, which is where we're going to start this. So we worked through the first line that the IRT built in Manhattan, and that first line started at 145th Street, came down the west side to 42nd Street, and then cut across to Grand Central Station, and then headed down the east side to City Hall first, and then Bowling Green later. Not long after that, they extended further down the west side from 42nd Street, and that's what we're working on today. I will say, I ride the subway almost every day, but it's been really cool to look at the history of these and pay attention to the differences in the different lines, and then go out and really look at them, because you can see the differences once you know what you're looking for. It's neat. That first part of the subway that I was just talking about opened in 1904, and then after that in 1913 the city signed dual contracts with the BMT and the IRT, and they started planning out new lines, and this was one of those first lines that was extended. This opened in 1917. This is the first station of the ones we're going to look at today. This actually opened before all the other stations. Initially they ran a shuttle from 42nd Street down to here and then back just to get people to and from Penn Station, and it was incredibly successful immediately. So we're back in the IRT design here with this ornate, lots of decorations, lots of tiles. This station's pretty standard for an express station. You got platforms on either side, an island in the middle. This station is actually built a little deeper than most of the pre-1910 stations, and that's because we got to be under the Penn Station basement level, other rail tunnels, and they needed to avoid the path tubes. Again, the stations were smaller to begin with, and then they ended up extending the platforms in the 1950s to fit the 10-car trains. A lot of the original decorative features were removed or covered, although some of the mosaics have been redone almost exactly the way they were. This is one of the busiest subway stations in the entire system because of Penn Station right here. That was a surprise visitor. That looked like a brand new engine. Now we're at 28th Street. Station opened in 1918. It was built using the cut and cover method, tunneling under a newly widened 7th Avenue. 7th Avenue south of 42nd Street didn't originally continue straight. Several blocks were literally carved through to make room for both the street and the subway when they built this whole thing. Construction of this disrupted local businesses for a long time, but then ultimately it helped everything once the subway was done. So this is a local station. The original features here, there are two side platforms. The express tracks pass right by. We have ornate mosaics again. I'm looking down the platform now. I didn't see any of the decorative pillars at the Penn Station stop, and I don't see any here either. They may have not used any of those in this new extension. We're at 23rd Street now. One thing I'm really picking up on here is that they really toned down the ornamentation when they did this 7th Avenue extension, probably the Lexington Avenue extension also. So we're at 23rd Street now. This also opened with the rest of the line in 1918. So 23rd Street was chosen because it was already a major crosstown street and commercial hub. Again, some of the decorations were removed during mid-century renovations, but some of them are still here, some of them were restored, and some of them have survived. So this is 18th Street. This opened in 1918 also. Okay. So here we are at 14th Street. It's another express station. It's interesting to be back on the IRT line, having looked at the IND line so much. Platforms are a lot narrower than they are on IND. So this station opened with the rest of the line in 1918. From here you can transfer to parts of the IND line, the F and the M. We just looked at that last time. So this station actually has a mezzanine which is used to connect to the other lines. Even though the station opened in 1918, the connections to the other lines came later. The connecting passageway had to be built over to the BMT lines and the IND lines. This complex actually became one of the first 3-line transfer stations. Here's that little mezzanine with connections to the IND over there and the BMT. This is Christopher Street, Sheridan Square, New York University. This was also completed with this segment in 1918. They also built this with a cut and cover method. When they built this, they had to demolish many of the village structures, creating today's angled 7th Avenue South alignment. Now we're at Houston Street. So this station also opened in 1918. It's a little bit of an unusual angle because of how Houston Street cuts across the island. I didn't really come out for any reason. Just want to see the entrance, see what it looked like. Let's go back in. Canal Street now. Just put a station here because this is at the northern edge of Tribeca, the western edge of Soho, and the massive wholesale markets around this area. In 1918, the area was significantly more industrial than it is today. When the station opened, this was home to factories, freight operations, paper and textile wholesalers. Canal Street was one of the busiest crosstown streets in the city. Now we're at Franklin Street. This station looks a little different. So this opened also in 1918 with the rest of the line. When it opened, this area was mixed use, residential and commercial. Today it's transformed into mostly residential area with lots of high-end residences and office lofts. Now we're at Chambers Street. This is another express station. It also opened in 1918, along with the rest of this part of the line. This area was chosen because of the government buildings around City Hall, the commercial and office buildings in Tribeca and the Civic Center, and the proximity to ferry services. A little bit of a mezzanine up here too. Now we're at Cortlandt Street. When I did the BMT line and we were at the Cortlandt Street station there, I mistakenly said that that station was destroyed during 9/11. It was actually this station that was destroyed during 9/11. And this is the World Trade Center stop. So the original station opened here in 1918 with the rest of the line, destroyed during 9/11. After 9/11 it was rebuilt, which is why it looks brand new. Reconstruction took about 17 years and it finally reopened in September of 2018. So the rebuilt station preserves the original alignment of the station, but everything is totally new here. The exit on the other side goes right out into the Oculus. So I've never actually walked out into the Oculus, so I'm gonna take a second and let's go do that. So this is the Oculus, my first time in here. It's interesting, cavernous and magnificent. There's subway transfers to other lines on that side. One's on this side though. Let's go get back on. You'll notice 2 tracks now. At this point, the express trains have broken off and are heading off to Brooklyn. We're on Rector Street now, and we're back to the original 1918 stations. This was chosen as a local stop because it served the financial district down here, and it provided access to the ferry terminals. It helped relieve the congestion at the South Ferry Terminal by spacing out stations along this final stretch. See where we came from down there. You can see the Oculus sticking up. I came out here because what's interesting is you got the old entrances here. There's the downtown one over there. Back when the subway went in, this was right along the waterfront. This came out right where the ferries were. Because remember, a lot of land has been added over here, all of Battery Park City. So that was water. All right, back on the subway. All right, the next stop is South Ferry, which is the end of the line. So this is South Ferry. This is and has been the terminal station. Unfortunately, this is the new South Ferry terminal. The terminal that was part of the original 1918 line is not used anymore. It was called the South Ferry Loop, and it's been decommissioned. So it's just sitting there somewhere, kind of like the City Hall station. So that station was a loop, so the trains could turn around in it. But that is part of why it was decommissioned. It was a tight curve. It was only long enough for the first 5 cars. I have a lot of memories of using that terminal when I lived here in the late 90s. And you had to move up to the front 5 cars if you wanted to get off at South Ferry. Anyway, it's a beautiful station. I can remember it well. I wish I could go back and see it again. Maybe I'll find a way sometime. This terminal was opened up in 2009. It can fit the full 10-car length trains. South Ferry as a terminal is important because it gives access to Staten Island Ferry and the other ferries that were down here at earlier times. Also provided access to Battery Park and the Southern Financial District. So this is a beautiful modern terminal, but I missed the ornamentation of that gorgeous old South Ferry loop. All right, this is the end of the line. Time to head back uptown. I'm gonna walk over to Bowling Green and take the 4-5. Staten Island Ferry is over there, that's looking south. The other exit from the subway is over that direction, along with the BMT South Ferry station that we visited when we did the BMT line. But we're gonna head back this way toward Bowling Green. There's one of the 3 IRT station houses left. We saw that in the first IRT episode. So here at Bowling Green, if you look across past the other platform, there's actually an unused platform that's closed now that used to be where a shuttle left that went down to the original South Ferry loop. It's all boarded up now though. I'm back up to the east side after a fun look at the IRT 7th Avenue extension. Not as ornate as the original line, but still beautiful. If you're just finding this channel, be sure to check out all the rest of the episodes already available up to the east side on YouTube. Like and subscribe, tell all your friends about it, and look for new episodes every Friday. Thanks for coming with me to explore New York City. I'll see you next time.